kick us off. Admitting a few more people. Hey everyone, I'm Nicole. I'm the camp's admin lead. Thank you for joining our camp's Q&A. If you come in, just put yourself on mute if we can, to avoid the extra noise. If you're a new Reverbian and you missed last week's new Verbian meeting, you can get the link in the email, which should have gone out after the meeting wrapped. So feel free to watch if you want to get caught up about what our camp's about, uh, tricks, all of the basics, power, camp orientation, getting to camp, all of those things were discussed in the meeting. So feel free to take a look at that. We have some leads on our meeting today. So Doug and Wendy, who you see, they are the sort of the camp's leadership, the main leads of the group.
Camp director.
Doug is the camp director. Wendy is the
I'm
finance
nothing.
manager, takes care of the invoices, and is
That
the
sounds
exit team
terrible.
co-lead.
That's true.
Adam is on the call. He's the power lead. Angie, who I'm letting in right now, is the build lead and the culturalization lead this year as well. Oliver should be here. He's the DPW co-lead. He's in charge of lighting in our fob system. We've got Justin. Is Justin here? He's our transport, loan in and out.
Got
Carrie's our
Bob.
registration lead.
Mhm.
We've got Bingo, our production manager lead. Siva is our infrastructure core lead. Mariana is our placement lead. Jordy is L&T lead. And then Jason's the volunteer coordinator. So they'll all be helping out today for our Q&A. For the Q&A itself, you can post in the chat if you have a question and somebody will answer it, or you can just raise your hand if you know how to do that. And that's it. It's under the React, by the way. On the Zoom, sort of the bottom tab, you can select React and then you can select hand raise. That's it. Any questions? Doug, how about you kick us off?
Yes. Welcome. I'm the camp director of Reverbia, which we started in 2010. And I'm not going to go through the whole history because if you were at our last meeting and you were new Reverbian uh, or Virgin, we went over that quite thoroughly. In fact, we have the whole history. But the origin of the camp began in around '94 with a structure called the embassy structure, and it just morphed into one village after another. And then I was in the past village that before Reverbia. That when that went down, I was asked if I would lead the village, and I said I don't want to be a village. I said that I would like to be a theme camp, and I wanted to do an all live music camp. So that camp Reverbia started in 2010, and kind of the founder, like the old school person of the camp, is Cliff Cox. He's not coming this year. He's now taking every other year off, but he's the one who got me to basically accept the leadership position, and I've been now at every single burn since then. I think I'm the only Reverbian that has been there from day one every day, but I mean, every year. But we do have people who've been there 10 plus years, like Wendy, and I think Siva's been a lot. And we have many veterans now. Our leadership team is about 20 people. It takes a lot to do our camp, to help organize it. And all of our leadership are volunteers. Everybody's volunteer. Nobody in our leadership team is accepting. We don't take pay for this. We are volunteers, just like you're going to be when you come and join our community. If you're a veteran, you're already a part of our community. You will also participate, which is a very big. One of the 10 principles is participation, and communal efforts another one. And so all of us have just accepted that. We love the Burning Man culture. We like what it represents, and we have a passion that we dedicate our time for that reason, to help keep that culture vibrant and alive. And through Reverbia, our main gift is live music. We are an all live music camp. We do have some, like almost all of our, like when I program, all of our programming has an element of live music in it. So that's kind of our catch, our thing that we do. But we also have We do some electro live, which is kind of like it's not EDM, but it will have some beats to it. It's on the brink of what we do, and I will do that. Uh, I will program that. Like our Friday night's going to be a heavy electro live night, and it's going to be quite a scene for us because we have some very large artists that are coming, or artists who draw very well at Burning Man who will be at our camp. Also, in our programming this year, we are going to have some
Ooh.
really amazing acts coming.
Oh.
Can you mute whoever's yawning? Can you mute that? Can you mute yourself if you're yawning?
All right, let's get the question.
Okay, hold on. So today, so Reverbia we love our community. We're more of a chill community. We are going to I think Nicole had asked me to maybe catch a couple rules. Maybe we could just get that out of the way right now, and that will be some questions that will be fielded. We've kind of established a certain culture where we're one of like respect. We are a very diverse camp. Our demographics are diverse, and we're diverse in every demographic practically, like politically, age, ethnicity, international, nationality. It's very preferences. We're very very diverse, and and we like it that way, and we don't force it. It's at our camp. We don't force our diversity. It's pretty organic with us. We have a lot of artists who come from all backgrounds, and that always will keep us a fairly diverse camp. But I'd say if you visited us, and you will see that diversity and understand that we do that. But we never force it. We're not like looking for it. It just happens, and we like that. So also with our camp, some of the important rules that Nicole's put up is because we're a live music camp, we don't allow amplified music in our camp outside of our stages. So if you wanted to hear music, maybe if you have an AirPod or something, you could do that. But we don't have like music playing on someone's speakers in our camp. If you have instruments, you can play instruments. That's fine, like a guitar or a horn, but maybe not a loud tuba. We have quiet hours are between 11 and 10 a.m. though in most of our tenting areas, like especially if you're staying in one of the shade structures, we kind of have quiet hours in there always. Because people are they're doing different shifts at different times, so they might be sleeping. Some people might be taking naps. We have social spaces. We have our bat wing. We have our Phoenix Rising stage area, which usually has programming. So the Batwing is always usually free for socializing and et cetera. Some people have RVs and they'll bring people over to their RVs, et cetera. We don't allow smoking or vaping anywhere in Reverbia. So if you have to do it, you can go off the road, across the road, and you can do that there. And always make sure if you are a smoker, you have the tin. You can't just drop your ashes on the playa. You have to have a little tin that you put your ashes in because it's all LNT, leave no trace. That's how Burning Man operates. We ask that you don't do hard drugs at our camp, and we ask you to party responsibly. We really don't do well with messy drunks in our camp. Or we don't. We have a lot that we have to do to focus on. But we people in our camp like to party. They do. They enjoy it. Burning Man's a big party going on. There's probably 500 different bars around, and there's no costs there. We just ask within our camp that you use our camp as your home base, and that and your participation base. And so when we do ask you to do a shift, this is really important. We didn't bring this up in the last meeting, I don't think. We ask that you are sober at your shifts. And that would require, like, if you're going out the night before and you're working in the morning, that's not the night to have your big night out where you're just gonna, party away. You want to be ready for the morning and agile and sober and like not with a headache. So we ask you to do that as part of your participation. I think that's really important. Okay, and then also we ask in the spaces that you're at, no phone or computer use while performances are happening. So we almost eliminate that in our Phoenix Rising and the Tea House. We ask that you're not on your computer in there. If you were, in the Phoenix, we'd ask you to go, if you wanted to check something, maybe go in the very back on the edge of the space. You could check something. But when people are performing, we just like that respect. We like that respect to happen. Okay, as far as coming to camp, like guests, we allow guests, like some people meet people and they want to bring them back, to their tents or whatever, if you make that kind of connection to Burning Man. We just ask that they can't stay 2 days, or like 2 days, more than 2 days at our camp with you in your tent, if you're connecting with someone in that way. And we also ask that we don't share meals and showers with people who are guests. And the reason why is because we are all cost sharing, and we've allotted for that cost sharing, and we keep tabs of that cost sharing through our fob system somewhat. And so just with meals, the problem with the meals, if you do want someone to come and eat with us in our meals, you can do that. Just, you want to ask the kitchen, set that up ahead of time. I think we have a price on that per meal for someone that's going to join us.
If they have enough food.
Yeah, they usually will make a little extra for that. But yeah, if you have a guest, you want to set that up ahead of time with them and say, I've got a guest, I'd like them to eat. And I think we have the pricing of what it costs. But any extra food that we have, we like to put it as leftovers for our own camp. So like, yeah, we might have more food, but then we stage that so that people who are out are coming in, and then they get to eat something because they were late getting to the meal, or they're coming when they're coming. And also the extra leftover meals that we do is we end up using those for the exit team and people who stick around on Monday. We will have meals for them that are supplied because of that. So that's important on that. You are responsible for your guests when they come to our camp. Like if they're causing problems, you're going to be the responsible person for them. All right, return the fob before leaving. We'll get into that. The fob system we have, I guess I'll have someone else talk about that. I'll leave no trace, pack out all your trash, and help with the daily moop. We do have moop squads again this year. You'll have 12 hours of participation that you're required to do in our camp to be a participant of Reverbia and a member of Reverbia. But that's not limited. If you say, I would like to do more, that is fine. The the leadership has done more. Leadership has been on this some of us since January, February, in meetings and planning and organizing, and we're all volunteers. So people who come in, the build week is like a smaller, awesome community that comes in and they build our camp. We just do it because it's better to get it all set up before everyone comes. Otherwise it would be pure chaos. So we have a build team, and the build team, they go 7 to 8 hours a day, sometimes longer, for a week. So they're putting in way more than 12 hours. And so what the exit team puts 2 days in. And so when we ask you to do 12, you can think in that perspective that there are people who came out here and have been putting in, 40, 50, 60 hours, 70, 80, 90 hours of volunteer service. So 12 really to me doesn't seem like very much. So if you also are someone that loves to participate, because I'm that way, and I don't ask everyone, even on leadership, to participate like I do. I just never leave the camp, hardly ever. I just love production. I love watching it happen. And so, but if you're someone that's like that likes to be involved, you can do more than 12 hours of participation. You can sign up for 16 or 8 and 18. And when I say hours, we have a point system because some of our shifts are weighted a little bit because they're like late night, doing something late night that's going to be harder to find people. It's maybe more challenging. So we will weight those shifts with more points. So when you sign up, you're signing up on the volunteer sheets, you'll see that. No locking of bicycles on any structures because they're just difficult to remove because we might have to move them. Do not turn on. We do have bike racks, and even then it's tough to. I mean, I guess some people lock them to them, but it's.
You can lock your bike and bike rack.
You can, okay. Again, don't play with any of our sound systems and equipment unless you've asked. Don't borrow equipment unless you've asked. We have a lot of equipment you can use to set your tents up with, etc. You want to, I think we're gonna have an inventory list again where you go and you'll say, where's the inventory list? Can I borrow this? And you write it down, you take it, and you return it when you're done. We do allow that. And no food and beverages are allowed in our public spaces because it looks tacky when we're eating food during shows where people are sitting there and they're looking over and everyone has their meals. And plus, always the food spills and goes on the carpets. If you have like a beverage, we allow water in there, but if you have like drinks and they spill on the in there, it's just messy and it gets sticky. So that's why we ask that you don't do that. No food or like beverages other than water. In the tea house, you can have tea. Please just keep all of our spaces clean and treat Reverbia like you now. When you're accepted into Reverbia, we've accepted you into our community, and so we're proud of our community, and we would like you to be equally as like happy and proud to be a Reverbian. When you go out on the playa anywhere, and if people ask you where you camped at, if you say Reverbia, we're a very, very popular camp at Burning Man because we're doing something that's so unique. We're bringing live music where everywhere else is pretty much the EDM. There's only a few live music venues left at Burning Man, and we do it largely. So people know our camp, they love our programming, and they'll say, you're from Reverbia? Oh my God, I love your camp. So we really have like we love for you to represent us outside and say, yeah, I'm there and it's great. We're doing this programming. You can always talk about our camp, and so you'll be a part of it. And with that responsibility comes you in camp, like with public spaces. Like if you see people trashing something or doing something, you can either get somebody to like acknowledge that's maybe a leadership or one of the production managers and say, look, someone over there is doing that. Or you could even, if you feel authority enough and feel like you could do it, you could say, excuse me, bikes go over there across the street, or please don't climb on that, that's not for climbing, etc. You can do that for us. Thank you. Okay, I think that's about it for what I wanted to say, unless there's one more thing. It seems like there was one other thing I wanted to discuss. And
Hey,
I just,
Doug,
yeah.
let's pivot to a few
Okay.
questions, and then if
Okay,
you
good.
remember, then we
Okay,
can.
good. Okay, well, I hope I covered like a nutshell of things that needed to be answered right there. They were like the significant things that I really, really wanted to bring up. So yeah,
Okay.
let's pivot.
Yeah, we got one question while you were talking about the food and beverage. I was just hoping you can clarify. What about bringing a bottle of water into the shade structure and
Water's
whatnot?
fine. Yeah, water can go anywhere
Yes,
Perfect. Thank
drink,
you.
drink, drink.
except over
Stay
our
hydrated.
electrical box.
Stay hydrated.
Determinator, was that your question? He has his hand
Well,
raised.
it's more of a comment building on the last thing Doug said about intervening in more of a comment, which is remember to address the problem, not the person.
Okay, that seems like some sound sage
Copy
advice.
that. Thank you. All right, any
Okay.
other questions? You can raise your hand, shout it out. You can pop it in the chat. We'll answer there.
Can you pop it?
This is a great time to just ask any questions that you possibly have. So don't be afraid to ask anything, and we'd love to help.
Oh, did you say shout it out? Is that okay?
Yeah, what's your question, Eliza?
About the so say I'm walking through the playa with a friend and they've got their water bottle has like some clear electrolytes in it. Is that okay to bring into to watch a show
Yes.
for them?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
As long as it's not gonna like stain the carpet.
I mean, the main thing is we just don't want like things dropping and spilling in there, right?
No,
Yeah.
we can't stop people bringing their drinks in, but we.
Like people will have flasks at our shows,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to tell them they can't have flasks. But if they set their beer on the carpet, I'm going to say, can you
Yeah.
drink that? We don't have that in our space.
Having a lid, like a closed bottle, is really important. Very few people spill something when they're holding it. They set it down for a second and then it gets knocked over. So it seems like if it's not too sugary and it doesn't have a lid, then maybe it's probably not too bad.
Yeah, if you have it so it's not going to spill, then I don't think that's a conflict at all. You
fine.
can have whatever it is in that you want to have in there if you have like it in a place that's not going to just spill on the ground and in the public spaces.
Is
Yeah.
there like maybe a shelf or something for people to put their things like that so that they can take it and leave it and then
No,
come in and no?
No, because
no,
then
because nobody comes back.
the shelf will be full of trash.
It'll just be a
Yeah.
magnet. If you leave any surface of Burning Man, it will be filled with people who flailed their
This
stuff.
this might be a good opportunity to actually mention that there are several lost and founds usually around camp. Usually the Batwing will have one. The shower area definitely has a lost and found. Typically
Mhm.
we put things that are found in a lost and found area for one day or maybe even a little bit less, but then they go into a free pile. So come by and check out the free pile once in a while. If you need something and it's in the free pile, you're welcome to take it. The person had 12 to 24 hours to check the lost and found who lost it. And then it's up for grabs because otherwise it just ends up in the trash. And we really don't want to take things home with us.
And
We
I should
don't.
also, to add on to that real quick, label your things.
Yes,
I
that's great.
put my name, and then I'll put location. So like we're Reverbia 845 in Esplanade, wherever we are this year. And things will more often than not actually get returned to you if
Yeah,
you label.
labeling your bike is a great idea because it's very easy to lose your bike.
And your
Yeah.
phone. People lose their phones every year.
Yeah.
I would also just like to say, and don't at the end of the week think, oh, I'm just going to leave this here because it's really useful item and someone will want it and they'll think it's a score. We don't want your nice stuff. We
Yeah.
don't want anything. Because it's just overwhelming for us to deal with. Even though things are, you might think this is the best water bottle. It's a $50 water bottle. We don't want it. So don't think you're doing a kindness by leaving it behind for us.
Yeah, if you can't
Take
give it to
everything.
the next person that you see, if it's not that
Yeah.
valuable, take it home.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see
Even your bike. We especially don't
Sarah.
want your bike.
Sarah has a power question about extension cords.
Yeah, great. Adam, go for it.
Um, so okay, power question. If we are in a tent and have access to power, ideally, how long should extension cords be that we bring? Do we bring and for shit an outlet power board too? That's a little confusing. But basically, um yeah, if you have if you have access to the 15 amp breaker, um you get a tag and then you can have your extension cord to your tent. You provide your own extension cord and we'll give you a tag for it, right? That's what we do.
Yes.
And how long should the cord be?
That's up to you.
No, it should be 50 feet.
The shade
100 is
structures are
better.
50 feet long.
Mhm.
Sometimes there'll be power outlets at both ends, so you might only need 25 feet. But if you are at one end and the power is at the other end, it'd be best if you have a 50-foot cord. Um, if you really can't bring one, oftentimes there'll be some cords around, but don't count on us for
No,
that. Just
that's
look
not
for people
countable,
who
Bob.
brought two.
That's not countable.
No, if you ordered power, you have to bring your own cord.
Yeah,
I agree.
you should make sure you have a 50-foot cord for your RV when you
100 is
come.
better because it gives you more options of where you can camp. But
Our-
but usually, if you ordered power, you have a designated spot.
And RVs are a different story.
Yes.
So if you've got, you definitely have to have a good quality cord for your RV, depending upon how many things you have in your RV. If you have a microwave and an air conditioner, you need a top-notch cord. Otherwise, you're going to be without power because you'll burn up whatever else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that shit
Doesn't the
will melt.
RV come with its own cord built in?
You need an extension cord because most
Oh,
RVs have 20-foot cords. So you'll need at least 50. In some cases, you might need 250s. When the layout comes out, you can kind of see where you are in relationship to the power, and you can decide whether you need a second 50-foot cord or not. And you can always call us and discuss that with electrical as well. You can get with us direct if you need to, if you're really concerned about your power needs.
I have one other power related question, Adam, if you want to answer it. It's, do we have a place to charge our phone?
yes.
Let him answer it.
Um,
What does that look
Like a charging station?
Say you're in the tent. What's the process for, planning on how you charge your device each day? Do you have any
Um,
knowledge on that?
I mean, if you have power, then you can use the power however you want to.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oftentimes, there will be group chargers in the Batwing. There'll be places where you can plug stuff in. It really depends. People kind of volunteer those things. We've definitely had them in the past. You can't count on them, but if they're there, then you might be able to use that if it's more convenient.
Thank you,
Guys,
Sue.
I have a question as well. There is a question in the chat right now. Somebody's asking if they want to bring AC. Is it too late to buy power right now?
I'm Carrie here. I just answered. Anybody that wants to add power just needs to email me at reverbialivemusiccamp@gmail.com, and I'm happy to set that up for you. And that goes actually, I'll just sort of jump in and do my little PSA. If you have any questions at all about what you're camping in, if you're changing from what you've registered to what you now will be camping in, if you're changing when you're going to be arriving or departing or how you're getting to camp, any changes that you've made since you've actually registered, please go ahead and email me. It really helps us out to be able to plan the layout of the camp. And again, if there are changes that would affect the cost that you would be paying, I can make those adjustments as well.
Thank you, Carrie.
I just wanted to say, sorry. The AC, you can, for ordering power, adding on power is fine, but if you're adding on power because you're giving an AC for your tent, we don't allow AC units inside the Quonsets.
The shade structures that you put your tent underneath.
Yeah, so because then it's just like a nightmare. It's like loud and
for
everyone.
Yeah.
And it's just doesn't make sense. So
well, there's also not enough power in the Quonsets for an AC to run. So.
Well, they would be if they ordered power.
If they had a designated 15 amp.
So when you order power, that means that what happens is that if you've ordered power, you will get a designated pre-chosen spot at camp because it will be next to a spider box where you can plug into. And if you have we actually haven't mentioned this before, if you have a tent that's larger than it fits under the shade, or any structure like a shift pod like that, or a yurt, that will be pre-placed as well. So it's the first come, first serve under the Quonsets is only for tents under 64 square feet.
Yeah.
Thank you, Wendy.
So if somebody's bought a 15 amp and they're in a Quonset, they need to make sure they get in a Quonset that can provide 15 amp, because there's a couple of Quonsets.
Do we have a picture of a Quonset?
Yeah.
A picture?
Yeah, I'll pull one up real quick.
Yeah, okay. But my point is that not all Quonsets have the ability to provide necessarily 15 amps. So like if you I have purchased extra power for some reason, make sure that we figure that out. Carrie, I can talk with you more about where is the best place for that as well.
Right, because sometimes people order power for like their little mini fridge, and that can go in a Quonset.
Right.
But they need access to that's true job, Bob. Yeah. Okay. Bert,
So I have a placement question that I want to answer. Somebody
That's
was
a picture
asking.
of the Quonsets.
Sorry, Doug. It's a bad photo, I know.
Wait,
it's
is that a Quonset?
It can't. It's not. Yeah.
Oh,
It's the end of one.
It's the end of a Quonset.
it is the end of one.
Yeah.
So see, people decorate the Quonsets on the outside. They make it
Let
kind of
Mariana
fun.
answer
Okay,
her
go ahead,
question.
Mariana.
So I have a question I want to answer in chat. Somebody asked a question. If they signed up for a larger spot, 64 to 120 square feet, and they want to bring a shade structure. No, it's not going to cost you anything to put a shade structure, and we really recommend putting a shade structure over. And the cars as well, you're asking if you can have that spot next to your car. Unfortunately, we cannot guarantee it since you're coming on a Tuesday. The cars also will answer another question about parking. Who somebody asked, the cars are parked in the separate areas depending on your departure date. So you're asking if you will be able to have access to your car during the burn. Yes, of course. Now the cars will be parked depending on whether you're leaving Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And it's very important that you park your vehicle on those parking spots, and they will be parked in a way where you will be able to get out. I hope that answers it.
Sorry, I need to correct something that Mariana just said. In terms of, yes, you are welcome to bring a shade structure with your larger tent because those won't fit under the Quonset, but there may be an additional charge. It just depends on how big a footprint you actually end up having. So again, please, email me with exactly what you're bringing, and I'll be able to help sort out what your costs would be.
Also, one thing I want to say about cars is that we will try to park the cars on our property as best we can, but this year we might have an annex parking. We've had it before. We didn't need one last year, but sometimes we've needed it in the past. And so I think this year there will be annex parking fairly close because of the structure of how Burning Man's going this year. But hopefully we can park cars in our camp, but we don't park cars right next to your tent. We don't do that. We have a parking lot for it. We like to keep there's a big feng shui that goes on that I'm really meticulous about in our camp to keep everything like an open neighborhood. And sometimes cars get in the way unless you're vehicle parked camping in a car. We will place vehicle camping, if you're camping in a vehicle, we'll place those within the camp. But if you're not camping in it, we put the vehicles in our parking areas with a parking pass. Everybody has to have their name on it so we know whose car it is. Right, Mariano?
Yes, that's correct. We're gonna have you're gonna be given a parking pass at check-in, and you're gonna put it on your dashboard so we know who you are. Also, your tent number is gonna be there, or your RV, your playa name, and your departure date.
And when you're departing, yeah.
So also somebody just asked the question if they're arriving on a Tuesday, if they will be able to have a place on the Quonset. Unfortunately, it's not a guarantee because it's the first come, first service, Wendy said.
We did have plenty of space. We had extra space last year. We did have a big lot last year, but we only have a limited amount of Quonsets. But our Quonsets did have space last year. That's why also we do a 64 square feet. Another reason, one is because of the tent, the way it's structured. If you go any taller and the winds go a certain direction, it has to give a little bit. And if you're too big, that could cause problems. But we try to get about 12 to 14 tents in each of those Quonsets. And they're very shaded. You won't need it. Generally, I don't think, has anyone ever needed, Bob, an AC unit inside a Quonset?
No, I mean, they're pretty darn good. What works, I think, even better than AC units is just to have a little clip-on fan that you can somehow anchor in the tent or something like that. Just a small one too, because a big fan definitely is a big problem, but just a small fan, and that's definitely within the power budget of, the standard power budget.
But if you have to look at the temperatures going into the week to see what it's going to be like. If it's moderate, like 80s, I don't think there's ever been a need for air in a Quonset when it's like low 80s or mid 80s, right?
Quonsets provide quite a bit of shade, and they provide quite a bit of airflow through the Quonset too. So it doesn't build up. There's not much of an effect. And they do a pretty good job.
We also have the Reverbominiums, which is another structure that we have, and that's more laid out. That has a different layout, and we will put tents like sometimes in and out of that. Like we'll find the shade spots that come off of that structure, and Mariana and the placement team will find like good spots. And the placement team always will usually give a couple options so that they just don't say this is where you're going, you have to go here.
Unless you're an RV or
you're an RV
or a shift pod or something.
Yeah, then we place those specifically around the boxes. They don't have as much liberty to choose where to go.
Yeah.
Like you can't say, can I move my car right over there now, because we already will have something set up there. So then we'll have to make a move, and it gets complicated that way.
They work on this layout for weeks and weeks and weeks. Like you've already started working on it. It is a huge Tetris thing. So when you come in and but I want to go over there, it's like, please don't.
Mariano,
it's a house of cards.
And Mariano, can you talk a little bit, just while we're on this, so maybe there's some questions about arrival. Can you say something about do we have a photo? In fact, we had one before of where we're located and this
is a Q&A. It's not a
but
info.
we could still show that if we have that. We could show a slide of it. If we have a
What
slide
slide do you want, Doug?
do you have one of like where we're located on the map and then
I
how to get there?
I have the map of Reverbia,
I
and then I
can
have an
talk about
overhead
it.
view. And I'm happy to show those, but also like Lucas has been waiting with his hand up. I just want to make
Okay,
sure
I'm
Do you
sorry.
have
we're
your
All right.
the Google Earth slide by chance? The
I
one with
can
our camp on it?
I have the what you just sent me, Zook. I just put it in the
Okay. All right.
PowerPoint.
I
Mariana
wasn't sure if
said
you
she
had the
has
one that
something,
has the
right?
green roads and the purple.
I don't have the actual layout, but I can explain how to get to camp if somebody is driving.
Mhm.
So when you guys get to Burning Man, you will enter at 6. Burning Man uses the clock system for its street layout, and you will enter at 6 o'clock. So what you need to do, you will need to go to the left. You go to the left and you will be on the very outskirts of the city. That street is going to be called K, the very last street. So you will go on K all the way down to 730, and then you will make a right. So you go left, then go right at 730, and make sure you go to the street. Sorry, you will go to 730, you'll make a right, and then you will go to the street called A. Do
There'll be
not
a
go
name
past
for it. It will
A.
start with an A. It will
Yes,
start with an A.
it starts with an A. So do not go past that street. If you go past that street, you do have to back up and go back to that street, because then you will have Esplanade. And Esplanade is the main street. There is absolutely no driving on it. It's the front of our camp. You need to come to the back of our camp. So you go right at 730, and then you go all the way down to A, and then you make another left. And when you make a left, we will be between 7:30 and 8 o'clock. Right in between that block, you will see us on your right. There will be a kiosk, and the entrance will be to the tea house, and you will see the placement team there and myself.
Please do not come. This is the other thing we want people to know if you're new here today. We don't allow placement between midnight and 8 because we have people who have to have lives. You know, that's just a hard graveyard shift. And so if you come in and you get there early because the gate is unpredictable, there's long lines, it's very unpredictable. So if
They
you come
close it.
in,
They might close it because it's windy.
yeah, it could be rainy and closed, and anytime it rains at Burning Man, traffic stops
might
because
send
the
you
mud
back
is
to
the
Reno.
mud is so bad
Yeah.
that you can't move in it. If you move, it will stick to your tires and it will be a disaster. So they just stop all traffic. They say don't drive, just stop. And if you get through the gate and it starts raining, that's what we recommend. Stop. So yeah, so that's important. And so. What were you going to say? Because I missed that. Okay.
Someone raised their hand.
Okay, let's go on to the next one. I had something I was going to say, but I'm off of it now.
Thanks, Doug. Lucas, you have a question. Do you still have it?
Yes. Hey, just a couple of like safety and preparedness questions. Maybe this is for Adam. Can you talk a little bit about safety protocols for power distribution? Especially, I know there was an incident last year. When it rains, it's gets sketchy. So I'd just like to hear what your thoughts are there. Oh, you're muted.
What are you asking exactly?
I know there was an
Is he
incident
gonna
last year
die
with
if he
power.
plugs in?
Yeah. I'm just, yeah, basically just wanting to know a little bit about safety protocols around the larger power
When it
in the
rains, we
camp.
shut all power off immediately.
We generally turn the power off when things are wet. There are sections of the grid that we can power up that may come back up again for keeping the kitchen and the food flowing. Our power grid is a little bit third world. I mean, in third world countries, you don't mess around with the power when you see a power box. It's kind of the same thing at Burning Man. I mean, our stuff is done well, it's done safe, but please don't mess with it and treat it like you don't understand it, even if you think you do. Unless you've been authorized to throw a breaker or to switch things around, don't touch that stuff. Find somebody who has been authorized. And as the week goes on, there will be more people in segments that are authorized to potentially, like, throw breakers. If somebody's having problems, with drawing almost as much power as their breaker can handle, once they've been shown how to reset their breaker, they can reset their breaker. But please don't help unless you come and find one of us and become an authorized individual. Adam, was there anything else you think that you want to say?
Yeah,
Just no, go ahead.
oh, no, you.
No, I didn't realize that was directed to you, Adam.
Oh, yeah, just don't touch stuff that's copper. Yeah,
Fair enough.
Thanks, Adam.
let us do that.
Thanks, Adam.
Including pennies? Oh, but there's no
I
money
did leave that part out.
Thanks.
Our Adam is a trained electrician. We're not these are professionals. We have never had. Well, I'm not going to say that because
We're putting Adam this year. We've had a tandem for several years now, and we call them AC and DC. And Adam is AC, and our DC, who usually is more of the vocal part of the team, is taking this year off because of some housing stuff he's doing. So we're putting him on the spot and asking him to be the voice of the team, and he's doing very well.
Colin
and we
did
appreciate
say
that.
as far as Burning Man theme camps go, we're on the leading edge of safety, which compared to other camps. He says we're ahead of the curve.
At Burning Man, they used to call people who could handle power at Burning Man, they called them master distros. And we in our history up until really Colin and Adam now, we had one master distro one time in our camp who camped with us for 1 year. But now I would consider Adam and Colin master distros because they could basically power any camp at Burning Man. In fact, camps ask them for advice, come to them and ask them for solutions. So we're very fortunate.
The power,
and Bob's also he's very good with power as well.
The power team is looking for volunteers, people that have some experience or skill. You will be mentored in it, but what we're looking for is this year, our list of things that we're trying to sort of rewire is huge. And we always run out of time for reconfiguring things, but we're trying to improve and change some of our older stuff so that it works better in the new environment. So if anybody's got some of those skills or is interested in learning a little bit about landing wires and stuff, there is going to be some projects available. So come and find us because we're looking for some help this year if that's something that's interesting to you.
Nicole, I can answer this question in the chat about the LNT.
Okay. Thanks, Wendy.
Maybe Jason can too, but he copy and pasted that from last year's and then tweaked it. So that's why it says 2025. Sorry about that. The question was, I received the email about LNT, volunteer signups. How does it work? What do the 12 points mean? So when you first look at that, it is kind of confusing. So each shift is worth a certain amount of points. And I think they're 2 points each because they're 2-hour shifts. So you'd have to do 6 shifts for the week to meet your 12 points. You can do more, but it's worked out so that everyone on LNT does the same amount of shifts evenly. Yep. You can do all your shifts in one day or whatever. But Jason, take over.
Yeah, so I'll share here real quick.
Yeah, that'll be helpful.
So, for example, here's the LNT sheet. All sheets work the same way.
Wait, we can't see it.
Helps if I click the share button. Okay, now can we see it?
Yes.
Okay, so sheets all work the same way. The length is normally hours, but then that translates into points. Most of the time, it's 1 hour equals 1 point, like Doug was talking about earlier. Some shifts, because they're harder to fill late at night, et cetera, are worth more points. So here's an example of the kitchen sign-up sheet, where the morning back of the house is only 4 hours, but for Sunday, it's worth 6 points. They all work the same way. For signing up, you just click the drop down little button, find your name. I'm not going to actually select anybody, and it will plop it in. As you can see, people plopping in all over the place here. Hopefully that answers questions regarding all of that. Good.
I think is that
Thanks,
it?
Jason.
Thanks,
Mariana
Jason.
has her hand up.
So yes, guys, I just posted directions in chat if anybody wants to take a look and copy those.
Jason, oh, you got it. Never mind. Hey, I wanted to say something real quick too. I was starting to say about coming in between, if you get there between midnight and 8 in the morning, what we ask you to do, especially if you're in an RV, it's really easy, or vehicle camping. You just pull in the perimeter of the city. It's all open camping in there. You just find a spot and you just wait till the next morning and you come in at 8. If you're on the only people that will accept in the nighttime, because if they're on the burner bus getting in, or maybe if you're a ride drop off and your ride is just like, no, dude, I got to drop you off now. I have to go. Then we will take those people. And then Mariana, what do we do with those people?
Sorry,
Mariana.
I'm so sorry, Doug. I apologize. I'm with my children right now, and
Oh,
this just required my attention, so I did
if
miss
they
the
come in on the
question.
if they come in on the burner bus, or
Yes,
their
okay,
ride says
got it.
you can't stay with me tonight, I gotta drop you
Yeah.
off.
So
What do we do with them?
what you guys need, you need to set up temporarily just for the night next to tea house. Please do not go inside our structures. Just set up next to the tea house and be prepared to move your tent at 8 o'clock and be placed in the proper spot.
We don't allow people to camp in our structures. We don't allow them to sleep in there overnight and start setting up their sleeping bags. For one, we're such a big camp, and we often won't even know if they're with our camp or not. So we know when we see somebody in there sleeping overnight that they're usually not with our camp, and then we have to ask them to move on. Sometimes we'll see people will just be coming in and sleeping, and in the morning when we set up for our morning yoga, there will be people sometimes lying down, and we'll say, hey, it's time to move. We'll be gentle. We won't say, get out of here. We're like gentle and say, excuse me, it's time we're going to start a programming here and you're going to have to get up and go. That happens sometimes. All right. Next, is there any more questions? Are we still?
I'm answering a question about
Well, ask it loud.
They were asking if there's Wi-Fi and cell coverage. There is Wi-Fi, sort of, at our camp.
Bob can talk about that.
We always aim for it. It doesn't.
Yeah. So Wi-Fi, we did a new thing last year and it worked pretty good. We are going to be doing Wi-Fi again this year. It may be as good or it may not be as good. We're still trying to figure out just how big of a project we want that to become. Most likely there will be some place in camp that you can go to where you should have pretty good Wi-Fi. Certainly at night when congestion levels are lower, you might be able to get away with quite a bit, sending perhaps short videos or uploading videos and things like that work much better at night during less congestion. But we don't really think that there's going to be a full camp Wi-Fi system this year. We're still working on it and playing with different things before we really throw everything that we've got into figuring out how we can build a full camp Wi-Fi system.
We link it through various Starlinks. So if people have a Starlink and they bring it, we can
So
link
that's
it.
what I'm kind of saying is you might find people that have Starlinks. There's usually 2, 3, 4 of them in camp. That's one way of doing it. The camp Wi-Fi, there will be a camp Wi-Fi system that may have anywhere from 1 to 6 nodes, and the nodes will be scattered around camp. So we're trying to do all that stuff, but we don't have somebody who's absolutely taking it in lead. Cliff typically does it.
Did that every
this
year.
and we're trying to figure out exactly what that's going to look like without him.
And personally, I think that it is not a priority to have internet, which Doug doesn't want me to say, but I will say it. I'll get on my soapbox. Internet is important for emergencies. If you really, really desperately need it, ask someone with a Starlink, but don't just use their Starlink because you want to do your Insta or something.
Yeah, that is the thing about
fair.
Burning Man, is to come and kind of check out.
Please experience the beauty of the universe without.
And I do have Starlink, and it burned up 2 years ago because there were so many people on it, so I had to change the password. But if you need it for emergencies, you can come to my blue van, and I will give it to you, and then I will delete the password from your phone. But for emergencies only, you can use mine.
Angie, now that you're there, do you want to say something about Angie is taken on kind of, we didn't have an acculturalization lead, but Angie, who is our build lead, is slowly but surely becoming our acculturalization lead this year. Do you want to say anything about stuff that this group should know about the culturalization of our camp and how
I,
we operate that.
I think like the number one thing I try to go by is don't be a dick. And that can cover a lot of things. But like sometimes there's a vibe in camp where there's a little bit of, you know, not niceness. But the core of our group is everybody's friendly and loving. If you need to cry, if you need a hug, if you need a glass of water, if you want to sit and pull up a chair and talk to somebody, we have spaces made like that on purpose so that you can hang out and get to know each other. Here's an example. 2 years ago, I brought a 76-year-old man who'd never been experienced anything like this. And he made so many friends just working in the kitchen. He did extra hours because he was so fascinated with the people at our camp, because our camp is really rich with diversity and where people are from and their experience. Some of them are 27-year burners, and some of them been coming since they were 10 years old to somebody who's a first timer. And so we really try to welcome the first timers. That's why our camp is open to virgins so that you can come. And I can tell you, because I was a virgin and Reverbia was my first camp and I didn't know anybody. I felt really lonely, and that year sucked for me. So then the next year I came back as a building team volunteer. And then I was like, whoa, I really like this. And I made friends, and then I got to go out with them. And now I'm build lead. So I like worked my way up, but it's the vibe is friendly, loving community. So please come with that attitude.
Yeah, we don't
Please help out. Yeah.
we don't judge people who are new to Burning Man. Like a lot of burners
No.
are crusty. We're not crusty.
A lot of
We
camps
want
they don't want virgins. They don't want them unless you've come and been in their community a year, working in their community at their fundraisers and at their work meetings. They really don't let people in their camp. We are one of the few that, well, not few, there's several, but we do accept new people.
Mariana raised her
Yeah.
hand.
And we want you to be a part of our community too. And in the very slim circumstance that you're a dick, we probably won't ask you back. But because we do want a welcoming, loving vibe on camp. We want you to hang out and
No
meet each other, and
drama.
then no drama. Yeah.
No drama
Just
for you.
love.
Mariana? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Nicole. You can see the hand waves. I shouldn't have done that.
Hi guys. So
Go
somebody
ahead and do
just
that.
asked a question. They are using their van as a tent, and they're asking if they will be able to stay there. They said that it's registration that's been disclosed. Yes, you will be, because you're going to be pre-assigned. If you're using your tent, using your van as a structure, you will be pre-assigned. You're not going to be able to park it just anywhere, but we'll take you to the spot.
I didn't really hear that, but
It's
it was a little choppy.
a little
Oh, sorry.
choppy.
Sorry, somebody just asked can you guys hear me better now? No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody just asked a question about a van. They're using their van as their tent. And they said it's been disclosed at registration. So I'm assuming they're going to be pre-assigned, just like an RV large structure, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Pre-assigned.
So just don't park anywhere. Whoever does ask the question, come to us and we're going to place you. You're going to be placed at a certain spot.
Yes. I mean, everyone needs to report to placement.
We do
no
ask
matter what.
we do ask when your cars come, if you don't have a tag yet, if you walk away from it for any time, you put your keys on the driver's seat.
Leave your keys in
Because
your car
it
open.
may have to be moved. We may have to bring a vehicle through, and sometimes people go, and especially if you're new, there's a lot of sparkly things out there to see. So you might go to the bathroom and come back an hour later because you stopped at somebody says, hey, come over here and try this or do this. It's very welcoming at Burning Man. So you have to leave your car in a position that we can move it. And also, by the way, Angie's first year, I just want to make a comment. That was also during Mud Bowl. And there was a lot of isolation during Mud Bowl because people had to just hunker down in their tents. We at Reverbia, we don't I always say no cliques. I really try to not do cliques. That's why I didn't like villages, because I felt villages were too cliquey. Each group was kind of their own group. That's why I wanted a kitchen so that we could all eat together and meet together. And so we really, all of our leadership team is all about mentoring. I don't put someone on leadership that I don't feel like, at least I hope I didn't, that won't take the time to mentor and to do it in a way that's not mean or condescending, or sarcastic. Because there's camps like that. If you come and you're not cutting it quite like they want, they will be curt. And I just saw that early on at other camps or other places that I'd see, and I didn't want our camp to be like that. I want our camp to be welcoming. We like new people because there's an energy that comes with new people. Yes, there's a learning curve that can be exasperating at times, like somebody just doesn't get it. But we like the fact that this new energy comes to our camp. You're willing, you're able, you're just want to be in this amazing culture. And we just want to make that experience as good for you as for ourselves, because we still are burners too. Like all volunteer leadership, we're burning. We're not just here to serve you completely. We still have our lives and we still have our bikes and we still want to go see things.
We also want people to feel like they have ownership of the camp as well.
Yes.
Like I don't want it to feel like they're staff and then you're like the guest. Like I want people to really feel like they built it as well, because you did. You did build it with your time and your money, just like we all did. So take ownership and feel like take that responsibility and feel good about it.
We aren't a business. We were talking about this. I was talking with one of our leads earlier. We're not a business. We are people who are at Burning Man with a camp, and we're sharing our costs to make some of the amenities better, and we're pulling together our resources to have a great camping experience.
Well, also environmentally, it works.
Environmentally too, sustainable. Yeah. We're working at all that. And we've been approved by Burning Man to have a camp there. And so we try to keep that code up, because if you, like I just found out there's someone here today, I think I met an Andrea the other day, and she said she was in a camp last year that they didn't have it together and they didn't get placed again. It's really important for us to stay in that standing with Burning Man and keep our camp clean. When we leave, we keep it clean, etc. So we want you to take ownership in that we're all sharing costs together. If you go like, hey, this isn't working, like why, like I need this. We're not a hotel service. We're just volunteers, and you're a volunteer too. We just have decided, some of us has decided to take bigger roles because we want to commit to making this camp, we are willing to be leadership in that. If you're a veteran here today and you want leadership, we always welcome people who want to do it, because it's a tough job. I mean, it's a tough volunteer thing. We commit a lot of time to it. So just be aware of that the leadership is doing this voluntarily. Nobody's getting paid. Okay. That was one thing.
Any more questions or comments?
Are we pretty good?
I want to say something.
I have one little question left. So the thing that attracted me to Reverbia was just like I was thrown up on the stage as an artist myself, like a creature threw me up there playing the violin, and then I was just wondering, is there like a sort of like a spot where musicians can just do their thing outside of the programming, like just jam and hang out?
Anywhere in camp.
Huh. Okay.
And our tea house is empty all day.
The bat wing, you could play in the bat wing if it's if it's not loud and distracting. If it's nice, and I know you're a really amazing violinist, but yeah, and I know that's Blue Girl, right? So Blue Girl, you could also talk to me, because you could I have some programming where I could utilize your skill set.
We lament that there's not enough like jamming just going on
within the camp. Yeah, we like it during the lines. Like Annie is always saying during the lines. Is Annie here still?
Like let's serenade people.
I was gonna say, remember Mudburn? Mudburn, we were all stuck in camp, and literally somebody's pickup truck was sitting there with a piano in it, and a whole concert opened up. Like feel free.
Yeah, that's
it was so cool. Do it.
And like they were saying, the lines, when we're kind of waiting for food, so a jam will form, and that is just completely changes the energy in the line. It really, really makes things better.
Music makes everything better.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. That makes me feel better.
Hey, Mariana. Oh, okay. Oh, Eliza, apologies.
Oh, that's okay. So somebody just asked the question again about Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi will be spotty in camp, as has been mentioned, but I think question mark or playground. One of those large camps, EDM camps, usually brings Wi-Fi to playa.
Well, Burning Man has Wi-Fi.
Yeah, but
it's not really reliable. So there will be a camp somewhere. I don't know who it's going to be, but usually there is one camp who gives their Wi-Fi to public.
Listen, every year we have been that camp. People have come to our camp to use Wi-Fi. This year, the founder I was talking about, Cliff Cox, who kind of been there forever, he does our communications and our Wi-Fi. And I think he's trying to pass on some of the torch, like maybe to Oliver and Bob, of like he had a system that was kind of set up. We just have to see. We're just not 100% how it's going to work, but we think that we're going to have Wi-Fi within our camp.
The system that we've got is not 100% stable. And without Cliff, we're not sure how much effort we're going to be able to put into it and whether or not we can make it stable. But we're going to try. So we'll do the best we can. And we were one of the first camps to have Wi-Fi on the playa back in the day. But and we've been well known for that. But this is going to be a little bit of an unknown year. But we'll do what we can, and they'll likely be something.
And I just answered this in the chat, but I'll say it to everybody. It is kind of a gray area. Like they say, Burning Man, bring like lag bolts or like rebar to put for your tent. Don't use your regular tent pegs. Honestly, my first 2 burns when I used my little tent, I just had regular tent pegs, and I was fine.
But you were in a Quonset too.
Well, they were in a Quonset.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I feel like
Shepherd hook tent pegs are really good on the playa because they're little mini rebars, right? And they have a little hook on the top. So if you've got big plastic pound in tent stakes, those things are going to stick out. People are going to trip over them, and they don't go into the playa well. So you don't need full on rebar unless you have some kind of big wind sail style like shade structure. But if you bring little shepherd hooks, and you can buy them, they're super cheap if you don't have them. But the shepherd hooks work really well. And so just bring shepherd hooks, are generally mini rebars. That's what you want.
And everyone that has like a really small tent, you'll be more in the middle of the Quonset most likely. And so you'll be more protected. The bigger tents tend to get to the ends of the Quonsets where there's more wind.
Not necessarily.
I mean, not necessarily,
it's how they get
but
placed
sometimes.
When they come in.
Yeah. So if your tent is on the cusp of being too big for the Quonset, the bigger your tent, the better your tent pegs should be, is basically what I'm saying.
Thanks, Wendy. Tommy's raising his hand. Tommy, what's your question?
Hey guys, just a quick question. I got the email about volunteering, and I can see that there is a kitchen volunteering, and then the mop I totally got. I just found it, the kitchen as well. But I saw some other positions as well, which we didn't get a volunteer list to be on there. How does that work? Or did I not understand something, or is there anything else?
Yep, I can field that one. So what we do, and some other large camps do as well, is we divide people into teams, which means that like you got dropped into kitchen. So all of your volunteer time is going to be in kitchen. There's advantages for that. One, especially if you're new to Reverbia and you're new to the kitchen, they only need to train you once how to do something. Versus if you do kitchen and then stage and then L&T, you have to be trained 3 times. So the idea is that you get in there, you do your stuff, you do the volunteer time, and off you go. Smaller camps sometimes have to break it up where, you have to do a kitchen shift, you have to do a stage shift, you have to do blah, 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 all these different things. Just for us, it works better to keep everybody sort of consolidated on particular teams.
Great. No, I totally get it. Thank you so much. And I also asked you about photography in an email today. If you get to it, please let me know if you want me to be the designated photographer of the camp. That would be also an option. But if I'm in kitchen, I'm happy to be there as well. Thanks.
And actually, yes, I did your email, and I'm working on something. So I will get back to you as soon as I can.
Thank you so much.
Yep. We do have a lot of photographers within the camp, and we love that. We have many people who love to do photography. So it's great if you are a photographer, and it's wonderful to have that in camp.
Except for we always have these photographers, and then we never see any of the photos. Someone asked how many people will be at the camp this year. We don't know. We're hoping for we're hoping for 200 or more.
We're not going to go above 250 this year. We were going to cap it.
Yeah.
Really at 225, we wanted to cap this year.
Okay,
225 was our
Carrie
cap.
Can answer. Go, Carrie.
Go, Carrie.
Oh, yeah. So I would say just in terms of that, I'm still getting I'm not even just registrations. We're still getting applications to camp with us. every day. So that's part of why earlier I answered that there is no layout, there's no camp map yet, because we don't know everything that we're working with yet. So that will be determined much later. The other thing that I wanted to just sort of segue from the sign-up sheets is please, please, please pay your invoices. First of all, we need the money. We're starting to have to do things like put in for the kitchen spend and things like that. So we need the cash. But additionally, if you have not paid your invoice, you will not get access to those volunteer sign-up sheets, which means that it is much less likely that you will get shifts that you prefer.
You're gonna be doing the
have to take
midnight
something.
dishwashing shift.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Saturday
that is
night.
just the way it is. We live in a first come first serve sort of world, and that's how it goes. So please do pay your invoices. If for some reason you have lost your invoice or don't think you ever received it, again, I've put in the chat a couple of times my email address, which is reverbialivemusiccamp@gmail.com. Email me, and I'm happy to get you squared away.
And thank you, Carrie, for bringing that up. And just to follow up on that, I try to check at least once a day a sweep to see if invoice has been paid and get the emails out. And registration, no, sorry, not registration, my bad. Volunteer signups close the 23rd of August, I think at 5 p.m. Pacific time. I need to do that because I need to process everything. So if you don't get signed up, you will have to sign up at placement. And until you sign up for your shifts, you can't get placed.
Yeah, if you show up without your volunteer shifts filled in, you will not get a home until they assign you a shift.
I want to say something too for the group here about shifts. It's so vital that you fulfill the shift that you sign up for, that you're on time. I said it earlier, that you're sober, that you're ready to work, you're in a space to do your volunteer service.
You're filled with light and love.
The thing is like, and this, one of the things that people really mess up on a lot is they're on the playa somewhere and they'll go like, oh, I have a shift today, like in a couple hours. I'm just going to go over here real quick. At Burning Man, it's never real quick. If you go out and say you're going to be back in an hour, I guarantee you won't be back in an hour.
There are wormholes at every turn.
It's just come and enjoy our programming until your shift starts, or hang out in the back bat wing. You know, give yourself at least probably I'd say a 2-hour buffer to get. I'd be in camp like an hour before your shift. I would plot on that, because if you try to wing it, you will fail. And if you most people will. And if you do, what happens is then Jason has to go around, or somebody else has to go around that's a manager in the area or who's managing the lead. They have to find somebody who's just sitting there reading a book, or who's sitting there just talking with someone and say, look, we have to get somebody, will you fill this shift? Somebody's not here. And now you've taken someone who wasn't volunteering, who had set up, maybe they're getting ready to go somewhere. A lot of times people are on a bike leaving and they're like, we need somebody. And they're like, oh, okay. That's the problem. When you don't do your shift, somebody else has to fill it. And that means that you're putting someone else's day behind your day. It's really selfish. And so you have to do your shift. You have to be on time. You have to be ready, prepare, and know that I can't go out and just run errands now or go out and see something real quick. It doesn't work that way. If you're way far on the other side and you go like, oh, I just want to watch this last song, make sure you're there about an hour before your shift. I think that's wise, right? An hour or 30 minutes?
No,
30 minutes. 30 minutes before your shift. That's what I ask of artists. Artists have to be there at least 45 minutes before a show.
You can't ask people to be there an hour before their shift. That's
How about 30 minutes?
As long as they're on time, they're on time. They're adults. I will say this: exit team. This is where you get to be a baller, because during the week you're out at the most funnest thing you've ever done in your life. You're at Bubbles and Bass. You're dancing your heart out, and then your friend's like, oh, I gotta go back for my shift, and you're like, oh, I don't have to, because I don't have any shifts, because I'm on exit. It's just a plug for exit. It's like good times during the week. It's really hard when you actually do work, but you don't have to go anywhere. You're just like stuck doing work, and then you go home.
So I'm going to trump Wendy on this. I do think that getting back to camp with like a 30-minute leeway to get prepared, to get ready for your shift, I think that's wise. I think that's a wise sage thing.
It is a wise sage thing, but as long as you are showing up for your shift on time and ready, However that works for you, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. I think the sentiment there is just that everything takes longer at Burning Man and account for that. We have a lighting related question. I don't know, Oliver, if you're around, if you want to answer that, but it's for lighting in the Quonsets, like what that looks like, if there's anything, if they'll be able to, find their way into their tent at night.
Yeah, we have these dimmed Edison bulbs that go down the center of each Kwanzaa. If the Wi-Fi is working as we hope, they should be on a schedule. If not, I will nominate someone in each Kwanzaa to hit the little button, change the dimmer, um, or I'll run around and do it myself.
And someone was asking, like, did they need a light during the day? You don't need a light in your tent. You
Have a
obviously need
light.
your head. Yeah, like
Have
there's
a
enough.
Get a headlamp.
Musica.
Bring it with you.
Your tent is
You
going to be a
definitely need
lot
a headlamp.
happier if it has a little light in it.
At night, but not during the day. You don't need.
Okay,
Oh no,
if you
totally.
need it during the day, you can turn it on.
No,
I
totally.
don't
I
think
mean
people
it.
should be bringing all that stuff. But
It's
that's
not
Yeah,
that dark though.
it's helpful to have a light, period, and it does get dark in the Kwanzas, even if it's their bright nights. Like,
If you're in a dark Quonset, then you're in a cool Quonset. So
mhm,
there is a benefit to that.
yeah.
Headlamps are always good, and you
Mhm.
can hang those from the top inside, the tent if you just need a little bit of light. But especially like if you're out on the playa and you need to use the bathroom, for example, you should have a headlamp.
a
Mhm.
headlamp, 100%, totally a non-negotiable.
Mhm.
Now,
Lamp,
if you've got little
not a
string
non.
lights and they're solar string lights, you should not expect them to work inside the Quonset because there's
They won't get.
unlikely enough light to charge the battery for that. Just FYI, if you're going to do that, you might want to bring a USB and plug it into a USB battery or something.
I want to say something quick about about in the tent. One of the things, if you're studying, everybody here should be going on the Burning Man site and reading as much as the survival guide as you can. That will prep you more than what we can prep you. One of the things that is advisable is a pee bucket, or a pee jug. Women use pee funnels, men use pee jugs. When you're in your
It's the
tent,
best.
yes, Angie, did you want to say
I have
something?
I have a pro tip. I'll put a link in the Zoom, but there's female urinals that kind of cup the business so that you don't splash. And you want a lid for your bucket so you don't spill it because I've seen them spilled. So I'll put a link, but women, okay, just don't be ashamed. Just you're peeing in a bucket, and then in the
Oh,
morning
we're all
everybody
walking
makes the walk
around.
of
Can we?
shame, and
We're
they
walking around
and
with
they
our
walk their
buckets.
pee bucket to the toilet, and you dump it in the porta john. You can poop in the porta john, but the female urinals are the best. I highly recommend.
And
Yeah.
and
I'll put
and hand sanitizer is a really good thing to have around for that as well. I mean, when your bottle is empty, you put a squirt or two of hand sanitizer in it. The next time you go to use it, it smells like hand sanitizer. Doesn't smell like pee. So
Oh, that's
You
a
will
good
see in the
tip.
morning,
That's a
you will
good
see in
tip.
the morning thousands of people with jugs of pee taking it to dump it in the porta potties. You will see
I
that.
don't know about
I
thousands.
see a lot on the route in the
Okay.
morning. I see a lot of people. Well, whenever they're ready, and we don't also ask that you don't put your pee jugs outside your tent. You got to put them in a spot because, or if you do, you cover them in the back. But usually, what happens is it looks pretty. Yeah, people leave their pee jugs out, and I don't
yeah,
And
think
cover
that's
them
really
exit
up.
good etiquette.
every year at exit. There's always no offense, guys, but there's a couple water bottles with pee in it, and then we have to dump it. It's really gross. So please just take care of your trash and your pee.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know it's boys because it's a bottle with
We
this.
can,
And
yeah,
if
Ribbon.
girls
and if
can't
it
pee in a
rains,
hole
it's
like
good to
that.
have that pee bucket because you may not, it's we don't have a porta potty in our camp. We've talked about it many times. We haven't done it. It's
We
expensive,
will never
but
do
it's
it.
not just other reasons. We are on exit and we see what happens when all the porta potties in the neighbors' camps, what it looks like. There's spills, there's leakage, they smell sometimes. We just haven't done it yet.
We never will do it. Don't say
The
yes.
eco ones I'm kind of interested in, but we go to our porta potties are maybe what like a block and a half away usually, and there's one on the playa you can hit, but the city one is closest I think. Um, so they're there, and the other thing to be prepared for is we talked about this at the last meeting. If it rains, there is a hack that is really amazing. We close some of our structures if they have geotech and they get wet. We can't let you go on it. It will get muddy, and then when the mud dries or whatever, it's uneven and it's slippery. So we close off the bat wing right now because it's not waterproof. We'll close it off. This year the embassy should be waterproof, but we don't put shoes. If you have muddy shoes, you never walk on the geotech or anything like that because it will wreck it. Same with the kitchen. There'll be a little geotech there. You got to be careful. But there's a hack that we found out. If you get Ziploc bags that fit your feet, you can put it over your foot, and then you put a tube sock over that. You can walk anywhere because the mud won't stick to it. It's bizarre. It's a bizarre hack that it just makes you mobile in the rain, in the mud. Otherwise, if you wear shoes, they will become platform shoes. The mud will just keep caking and caking and caking. And then if you go barefoot like I used to, you have to clean your feet. So this one, you could wear a sock, and then you could put the baggies over it, and then put socks over it to secure it. That works really well. And that way you just take it off, your sock off and whatever, and your feet are clean when you go in your tent or your vehicle. All right. That's that. Good hack.
Thank you,
I
Doug.
was answering a question about the structure we call the reverbiminiums, which is just the flat roof shade structures, not the quonsets, and that's just a big square flat shaded area. That's just a more social vibe in that area because people who want to be with all their friends can all hub there together. Like 4 tents can be next to each other, easier than in
the reverbiminiums. Yeah.
Yeah, but there is less shade. Like it's less deep shade. It's just a luminette. It's not.
But it
whatever.
works.
But it's still
illuminate.
shady. Yeah, you can still nap in there during the day. It is not as super quiet, I would say.
The quonsets are very quiet. The reverbiminiums, there's some friends that
It's
will
more
go there.
social.
It's a little more social.
Yeah. Also, if your tent is like just on the cusp of being too big to get in the Quonset, then we might put you like on the edge
Of the
of the
reverbiminium.
reverbiminium, so you get a little bit of shade, but like you get, like, so a lot of bigger tents end up going there too.
Close to there, yeah.
Like on the outskirts of there, which
But
protects the inside
they need to
more.
bring shade if they have a bigger structure.
If you have a tent over 100 square feet, you will be placed on the map ahead of time, and you will have a designated spot.
Thank you, Wendy. Here's a question about earplugs, if they're recommended. It's always nice to have earplugs, I think. Does anyone want to comment on that?
Yeah, if you have someone in the tent next to you that's having sex every night, then I would totally have earplugs is great.
I think earplugs don't quite cover because you feel vibration in the ground. So
They
can
won't knock out the thump 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 of the EDM.
They won't the
You'll
boom
never.
boom boom.
No, but it might dull the sex noises from the next. I mean,
Maybe
you
bring
want-
a mattress or something to keep you off the ground. Maybe I
If
don't
you
know.
are a sensitive sleeper, then yeah, like you won't sleep at all if you can. If you have to have it totally silent, you won't sleep at all without earplugs. I personally have no problem, but I sleep like death.
I personally like earplugs when I'm out on the playa because
Oh.
the music can be extremely loud. Sometimes you don't have control over what environment you're being put into. That's part of being at Burning Man. So I always like to have like the basics, the essentials, just to make everything more comfortable.
We're not, because Reverbia is a live music camp, and we are a camp at Burning Man. They have been very supportive of us. We are not placed next to we're not supposed to be placed next to DJ camps or large, sounds where we're going to hear thumping all day and all night. We're not near that. The large sound camps are a distance from us. There is a camp I've seen at 7:30 that's on the other side of 7:30 that we've already addressed before we even saw it because we got their brochure and we saw what they were advertising. We have acoustic music, so we have to protect that music. We have to be able to hear it. And if you have a lot like bass in the background, you can't hear the nuances. So they protected us. So our camp for a frontage camp is fairly quiet. And that's why we like quiet areas in our camp. We really we don't have generators in our camp. We keep it quiet.
The loudest it gets is when a damn art car drives right past us.
I mean, our
boom,
yeah.
boom, and you're like, everything
So
will
that's
shake.
why you would. That's
your
why
brain will
headphones,
shake.
earphones, earplugs. I mean, that could be helpful because we never know when an art car is going to come and just park and zap it. We usually, if I see one, as leader, I'll go over and say, "Hey, can you move on? We're doing live music here." But yeah, if you are in a tent, etc., you might want to bring something that that if you put over your ears, it will cover up noises that might come from outside of our camp, really. At night, you can hear our tea house does go till 3, and it's acoustic and it's nice usually. We do have a couple programs that might go on the frontage in the Phoenix. We're going to turn it way down. The loudest we get is our main stage, and it usually ends around 1:30 or 1 o'clock at night. We try to end it. Sometimes it goes over a little bit, but we don't do all night music.
And Determinator just made this point. There is a Quonset, the Whispering Dust, is especially for people who like it extra quiet. It's like the most quiet you're going to get at camp. Like we put people in there who really, like, there's no babies going there.
We don't have any babies.
We don't have any this year. That's too bad. So that's for people who are like serious about it being quiet. We don't reserve it, but that's a first come first served Kwanzaa as well. But it's only for people, or it's usually for people. We offer it as for people who want it extra quiet. So we do try to keep one zone that's a little more quiet.
There's a few Kwanzaas that are quiet.
Yeah, and that's like whispering 24/7, whispering dust. Okay, any more questions? Oh yeah.
Oh, the one thing, sort of question that kind of went unanswered a little bit. Somebody had asked about if we've had incidents in our camp with electricity, and to my knowledge, nobody's ever gotten hurt because of our electrical grid within our camp. Yes, there have been issues at Burning Man where people have been electrocuted, but I think Adam and the whole electrical crew and Zuki, they do everything in their power not to kill us.
We probably have one of the most capable power teams out there on the playa, to be honest. Like they take it very seriously. I couldn't think of anyone who has it better.
I was gonna say this earlier though. I live in my RV, so I have like a little bit more knowledge about RVs, but last year there was a problem where one of the boxes was kind of wired off. So it told me on my surge protector, and a lot of you guys that are renting RVs, it's not gonna come with an RV protector, like surge protector thing, but I unplugged myself and they fixed it. So if you have one of those, bring it, but I wouldn't say like go buy one because they're like $100 each at the bare minimum. But sometimes there's just like something weird in a box, but they always fix it.
And I will say this about power as well. It is not guaranteed. Things blow up. Things like melt down. Like things, they might not deliver our fuel, or we're beholden to a whole other team of people getting us the fuel, the diesel for our generators, which they might get stuck. They might break down. They might just forget us one day. That's happened before. So like it's when the power goes down, just don't treat power like it's a given. It is a special, it is a privilege that we're all lucky to have for every second that we have it. But it's not a guarantee. Nothing's a guarantee at Burning Man.
And we do our power, like for those of you who have RVs and are getting 15 amp and 30 amp, like I just had someone talk to me yesterday what a 30 amp is costing at another camp. We're cost sharing. So it's not like we're trying to like make money on you. We're not. In fact, our power probably costs, it's right at the border boundary of what it is. Gas prices go up, we are affected. But our pricing is like 50% to 60% off of other camps what they're charging most. So for power.
I will also say it's the same for showers. Like showers are not a given. Of course, we endeavor to make everything run as smoothly as possible, but Burning Man likes to
throw some wrenches in there.
Why do we go to Burning Man? Because we like to be tested.
It's harsh. It's a hard. We're trying to
like, why do we
build
do
a culture in a harsh environment.
It's trying to, as Jason said, it's always trying to kill us, including all of our systems that we build.
I have said this before, and I'll say this again probably at the meeting that we'll have at camp. I don't think they've ever found any human artifacts in Black Rock Desert on the lake. It's a dry lake. Nobody tries to live there. The fact that Burning Man is trying to do it, we're against all odds, but we do it because it's fire safety. I think it's the most safe place, and it's a flat surface where you can create roads. That's why they like it. But it is not where any civilization in the history, the ancient civilizations around Black Rock Desert, they did not build their communities on the lake.
Why are we here if not to
on the dry lake bed?
If not to test our ingenuity in
we
a
do
million
it
different ways.
We do it because it's difficult, and being difficult is what brings us together. And so when you see somebody struggling, help them and bring it on. I wanted to say that The generators go down from time to time. We do turn them off for service. We generally try to do that in the mornings when heat is not, or when the loads are not that large. But if one of the generators goes off, keep your batteries charged. If you've got stuff that's important, that you can walk your thing, whatever it is, over to the other side of the camp, and we generally will have a place where you can plug it in if one half of the camp is down. We do have two generators. So generally speaking, if it's wet and everything's muddy, we will start bringing up areas that you can come to and plug stuff in to charge them. The advantage is if it's wet and generally it's not hot, so we don't need air conditioners anymore. But we understand people need power, and we'll do everything we can to provide it. But it may not be as convenient as it was in the beginning of the event. But we will try to provide power for people who need it if there are problems.
Yeah, thanks, Zook. Doug, is there anything you want to add?
No, I do see that Carol's here, or Bingo,
Do we have any
and
more
Annie's
questions?
here, and they're also two
We're
leads.
in an hour and a half. Maybe
Yeah,
we should.
we could we'll let Nicole monitor this out for us. Moderate it out.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
Whenever
slowing
Nicole
down.
feels it's sufficient, that's when it's sufficient.
I think we can wrap pretty soon. I'm not seeing a lot more questions. It slowed down quite a lot. So
We had no food questions. I can't believe it.
There's Bingo.
Amazing.
Bingo, do you just want to say something so people see you up there? Bingo's our production manager,
There's Lexi.
our
Hey,
lead.
y'all. Have we had enough questions about the stage and how much fun it is and how important it is to go to the shows and support
Yes.
the vibe? Yeah, we had a lot of conversation about that.
No. We
No.
didn't talk about that.
Yeah. So it's just, your gift to Playa is being a part of this camp, which is bringing music to the Playa.
Live music.
Live music, of course. And that's what's so exceptional and so cool. And we're on Esplanade, which is amazing. And one of the things that makes camp so fun is that there's always live music. And so whenever you're hanging out around camp and just resting, if you go near the music and enjoy the music and contribute to the scene and to the community and you get the vibes started, it makes everything better for the musicians, for the people who are just walking in. And it's just makes the vibe better. So just make sure that when you have the energy that you're being a part of the music community and the shows.
You can bring your chairs to like the Phoenix Rising in the day for day programming when they do
Support the
concerts in the
artists.
shade and open mic. A lot of our veterans who know, they'll bring like their camp chair and they'll sit in the back, the very back, or in a space where they can, they're not imposing, or they have a lower chair that they'll sit and they'll just watch the shows and hang out there while they're resting and vibing, chilling
There's
out.
a reason why almost all of our leads, we spend so much time in camp because we've seen so much of Burning Man, and we just, honestly, our camp.
It's such a vibe.
It's such a vibe. It's like I go other places and it's fun for different things, but when I just want to chill, or just when I just want to have a nice time, it's like there's no better place than
Bingo came
Our
in for
camp is the best.
she came to our camp last year for the first time and just really volunteered and embraced the participation at another level. And now Bingo's, because our production manager couldn't come this year, lead from last year, Bingo got a leadership position. We rarely do that. We rarely add a newbie to a new person, first year person to leadership. But Bingo embraced participation so much. And here she is now and pitching it how fun it is. When you do live music, anything can happen. When you have live music, it's not like DJ music. They have a set thing that they're doing. In live, elements come out, like they'll stop, there'll be talking, there'll be like something that funny happens, and just magic can happen at any time. It really can. They might jam a certain way. They might see someone in the audience and go, hey, let's play this. It's amazing. It really is. We have a very special, our afternoon programming is just amazing. Our night shows, you'll see, get really large. Tea house is cozy, right? Bingo?
3 stages. It's really cool. People like to spend a lot of time in the tea house, especially really late at night. It's going to be beautiful. And you can always tell your friends to come and meet you at our stage in one of the sets. It's a good meeting spot too.
Nicole, do you have a picture of our stage active that you can show them, the main stage, and maybe one of the Phoenix and one of the Embassy inside? You can see what they look like.
Yeah, let me pull it up.
If you're new.
One moment.
And someone mentioned dancing. Oh my God, dance, dance, dance. You guys
We
dance.
dance. We book
We dance.
our shows at night are all danceable.
Yeah.
And when you think
And
about
that,
earplugs, you want earplugs to totally block out the sound to sleep, and then you also want earplugs to enjoy loud music. So if
Although
there's
our
our main
sounds too.
stage.
Our
That's our
sounds,
main stage at night, active.
and we
That's
don't.
it. This is the tea house at
Tea
night.
house. The
Very
tea house is
cozy.
amazing. Look at that. It's like a cloud of fun, fuzzy fluff.
And this is a great wind down spot at night. When you come back, you can go in there and get some tea, decaf, or if you want to stay up more, calf. And it just is always vibing. And then, do we have a picture of the Phoenix? And this is the Phoenix, the stage
So that's
going
during
on
the
there.
day, so there's a really good shade.
And this space opens up behind it. We can get about 500 people in this structure, maybe three to 500. There it is.
There's yoga.
We average about 275 people in yoga
Yoga is our
every
most
day.
popular programming because it's the only one that ever gets in the
A day of day programming.
yeah, and day program because it's the only one that ever gets in the book, the event book that Burning Man hands out, the who, what, why, where, when. So we always get a lot of people for that.
We
And
love it
it's
when you
so
come to.
fun.
We love it when you come to our day programming. The night programming pretty much moves itself, but day is nice, and the tea house is nice to stop in there. Okay, cool.
There's the that's what you'll see when you arrive for places.
Yes.
That's a great shot. So that is the outside of the tea house. It looks like a big
And we
tea.
should have a sign up to see
And
it.
hopefully we'll have a sign up just like that
Perfect.
to show you that you're there. And then in the background, in the back left, you can see one of the Quonsets. That wormhole tubing in the back left corner. That's what those ones
All right,
are.
cool.
Okay, any more questions? She's just answering that.
Yeah, I put this in the chat as well, but just to reiterate, if you do have any other questions that come up, feel free to email me. If I'm not the right person to answer, I'll either track down an answer for you or get you to the right person. So yeah, just keep sending me emails. That's my hobby these days, is answering them.
Thanks, Carrie.
Thank goodness.
All right. Well, I feel like that's it.
I wanted to add something. I just answered a question and I wanted to add a little something. If you have a tall tent and you're in one of the Quonsets and there's a storm on the horizon, it's a good idea to lower your tent just because the Quonsets are designed to fold in the wind and they can fold really down low. So like most people bring cheaper tents, so it's not a huge big deal. But if you do have a nice tent that you have memories in or something like that,
That's tall.
it's up to you to
Tall
lower
tents are
your tent
dangerous.
if it's storming.
Yeah.
So
That's why we don't put tents over. Try not to put a tent over 6 feet in there. We can't.
all tents
We don't-
definitely are much more susceptible
Okay.
to
Yeah.
breaking and also damaging the Quonset when in the process. But I just want to point it out. That's another thing where you're responsible for your tent. So hopefully everybody's gonna have a great, wonderful
Hey,
birthday.
one last thing too, Bob. Annie, are you here? Annie, when she turns on her thing, it starts echoing. So, Annie, do you want to just say hi real quick?
Hi,
Annie's
guys.
with the kitchen.
This is Annie with Reverbia's Kitchen. We're super excited to feed you. We have one favor to ask of you, pretty please. You've all graciously submitted your dietary requests, and we ask that you please pay attention to that when you're choosing foods. It's really hard to go out and find more gluten-free bread in the middle of Playa, as an example. So, yeah, that's our only request. Wednesday, we have our birthday anniversary Playa Memory Party, and that's going to be about 1 o'clock. So we ask you all to stop by if you'd like to have a little birthday treat. And if you have any questions for us, please go ahead and let us know. I can drop an email in the chat, and we'll be happy to work with you, make sure that you're fed and you're nourished.
Thanks, Annie. All right, well, I think we're ready to wrap it up. Thanks, everyone, for coming to our Q&A. I feel like we covered a lot. If anyone has any other questions, you can reach out to Carrie with the email that she has posted in the chat. That's it. Doug, any last words?
Nope. I think we just welcome all of you. Thank you for coming and joining our community. We vetted you. We hope we vetted you properly in the way that you're going to enjoy our camp as much as we do. And the vibes that we have, we are a chill camp. We are responsible, and we're looking forward to camping with you. It's only what is the date? It's 2 weeks away, 3 weeks, 3 weeks away now?
It's soon.
It's coming.
Don't forget Moo Moo Monday.
Welcome home, everybody.
And Toot Tuesday and White
But
Wednesday.
that's where he meant, just our
And
campus
White
is in the
Wednesday,
And
way.
Naked Bike Ride on Wednesday at noon.
Oh, are we doing that?
I'm doing that. I don't know
There's
what
a
y'all
big
doing.
camp that does
But
it.
I do that every year to get my
Okay, I'm
mug.
coming. Yeah.
Okay. See you guys later.
All right, everybody, take care.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming. Thank you for all your questions.
See you soon on the playa.
Bye.